choice, not chance, determines your destiny. How you choose to respond in any given situation will determine your path in life and your trajectory. How can I serve best? When you come in with that kind of mentality, by definition, you'll always succeed.
What one key piece of advice, would you like to share with all the entrepreneurs watching and listening today?
The genius of life, the genius of business, the genius of living in an exuberant manner is the word service.
Hey, and welcome to another episode of the Business Growth Show. I'm your host, Ethan Cassiotis, and today I have an awesome guest. His name is Barry Shaw, and he is the ambassador of joy. Successful serial entrepreneur with 2 public exits and 3 issued patents. He became a quadriplegic from a rare disease and now swims 2 miles a day, 6 times a week. And from there, he's a best-selling author. He hosts a top 2% podcast and is a jolly good fellow. Welcome, Barry, and thank you for being on the Business Growth Show.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved immortal beings, and good-looking people. Now, Ethan, how can I make the categorical statement that all the thousands, tens of thousands of people that tune in and watch or listen to the podcast are all good-looking? Because by definition, if they tuned into the Business Growth Show, it means they're always looking for and finding the good in life, right? That's the definition of a good-looking person, looking for and finding the good in life. I am humbled and honored to be a guest with you today. Thank you.
I love it, Barry. Amazing. I love that frame on good looking. I'm going to definitely use that one going forward. And I love your
do.
Yeah, and I love your energy, right? It's going to be all about joy today, which is just such a lovely topic that I do talk about a lot with my clients and everybody that's listening. And you are a successful entrepreneur. So for those people that know who you are, just introduce yourself by telling us a little bit more about you and your journey.
First of all, I'd be very happy to, and I have 2 reasons that I really want to share something with you today, Ethan, and the audience. So everybody knows Ethan's is Australian. You can hear from his accent. I'm not. I'm American, North American, the United States, and I'm happy to say that one of the businesses that I built in the first, what we call Internet 1.0, I was privileged to build 2 internet companies. Again, Internet 1.0 was 1996 to the year 2000, 2001. So I built 2 companies and I sold both of them to public companies. And one of them actually is still functioning today. It's still a multi-billion-dollar company. And so I did very, very well, made a lot of money, had a little bit of fame, and it was just a wonderful experience. So the ability for me to talk about being an entrepreneur is something I love to do. And I will also tell people that it began when I was 9 years old. So if, with your indulgence, I'm going to go back in time a little bit, okay?
Sounds amazing.
So I grew up in a place called Boston, Massachusetts. So anybody who's listening who's never heard of Boston, I'd be surprised. However, if you are geographic challenged, go and do your Google, your ChatGPT or your Perplexity or whatever, and look up Boston, Massachusetts, and you'll find that it's a very, for America, it's a very ancient city. It was founded in the 1600s. Which again, for the United States of America, that's very old, certainly compared to Australia. And we're in the northeast part of the country. So in the wintertime, it does get cold and it snows and the sun goes down by around 4:20 in the afternoon. So I'm going to tell everybody a quick story because it resonates with me throughout my life. I'm 76 years, 77 now, chronologically. And this, as I said, has carried me through decades and really helped give me an orientation that I want to share with everybody because I think it will be of benefit. And that is, we had a big snowstorm when I was 9 years old. And in those days, of course, before the internet or anything like that, you had radio, right? And we always listen to the radio during the week, have a snowstorm, listen, will school get called off? Well, it all depends. If you have just dusting, no. But if you have, 6, 7, 8, 10 inches, well, they're going to call school. So when snow's falling, listen to the radio and says, different school. John D. Runkle, school closed. Yay! Okay. Every kid likes school calls, right? If you can. And so I have choices. You can go back to sleep, you play games, or in my case, I was an entrepreneur even then. I buckled up. I had long underwear, I had coat, I had gloves, I had earmuffs, and all kinds of stuff. I had a quick something for breakfast with my shovel and went out the door. Told my father, I'm going to go shovel snow because school may be closed off, but some people have to get to work or get around and things like that. So now I'm going out and I'm knocking on doors and I'm shoveling snow and I'm negotiating pricing. You hear this? 9 years old, and I'm doing business and a couple of different things. And I'll make the story very short. I made 25 cents as an allowance per week for doing chores. In this one day from I went out at 7:30, 7:35 in the morning. I came back to the house at about 4:30 in the afternoon. It was dark. I didn't even stop for lunch. I'm a 9-year-old. Who cares? I just go out working, right? Ethan, I made $55. Now, $55 68 years ago is real money. In today's term, that's a lot of money, especially if you make 25 cents, right? Come back in the house. I am tired. I'm so happy, though. I mean, my pockets are filled with dollar bills and $5 bills. It was just wonderful. So my father is making me a hot cup of cocoa, and he liked to melt chocolate, but we didn't make from a powder. And I'm sitting down. He says, "My dear beloved son," he used to love saying that. "How did you do?" "Very nice, $55, a lot of money." He said to me, "How do you spell the word business?" Oh, I'm smart, 9 years old. Business. Yeah. He said, "That's right. I want you to notice something. Notice that the U comes before the I, because when you take care of other people, the I will always be taken care of."
Love that.
Now, it took me probably 2 decades to internalize it, utilize it, and leverage, understand what it really meant. However, do you hear with that, everybody? When you are giving service, because that's what business is really all about. Business for me is two things, two T words, I call it: transactional and transformational. Transactional, yes, because there's money being exchanged, goods, services, et cetera, et cetera. No question about it. Transformational in that you want to make sure that what you're delivering, your product or service, is not just a one-time thing, that it begins and brings benefit to the other party or parties. And when you do that, you will always be taken care of. You never have to worry. Never. And I'm telling you, everybody, for more than 6 decades, it served me well, very well. Again, made a lot of money, did very well, all kinds of good things that came out of it. So that bit of advice that I got from my father at the age of 9 made a huge difference for me. And I share it with you all willingly.
Yeah, I love that. What a story. And yeah, you took advantage of opportunities. You started young, right? You put yourself out there, learned some lessons and capitalized. And now you're giving back, right? A lot more. And I love that joy is a big part of this, right? And I know you talk a lot about joy being a foundation of business success. So tell us
Thank
more
you.
about this.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you for that lead in. How cool was that? So I am known as the ambassador of joy. Notice I didn't say the ambassador of joy. It's the ambassador of joy. And joy has been for me, and again, something I learned from my father and the people that I did business with and lived with, relatives and family early on. Now, of course, human beings, everybody has issues and stuff. I learned that joy was a choice. And I'm going to tell everybody at the age of 16, I made a decision. And the decision was, I want to be happy. I choose to be happy. And I began to do what my father taught me also was to internalize, utilize, and leverage the 6 most important words you'll ever learn. You want to hear these 6 most important words, Ethan?
definitely.
These words are: choice, not chance, determines your destiny. How you choose to respond in any given situation will determine your path in life and your trajectory. So at the age of 16, which is what I'll call the middle of teenage angst, with all kinds of stuff happening, with stuff on your face and girls and things and just life, I made a decision. I said, I want to be happy. And I began to live that way. I began to choose in situations that were challenging, and it served me very well. And I realized I moved from something called being happy to living in joy. For me, joy is a more profound experience even than happiness. They're two sides to the same coin, except that I find joy to be a much more powerful, much more dynamic, much more internal process. And when it's internal, then it never goes away. As a matter of fact, I have to share this with you, Ethan, because you're a Greek background. So let me share with everybody a wonderful quick story. May I do that?
Of
Just a quick
course.
thing. So people ask me often, and I have a book on this. I've published, thank God, in the past 2 years alone, 5 books, all of which are going to be available on my website, which Ethan will tell you about later and put up on his site and things like that. And they're available for free, by the way, because this is an international podcast. So they're available as ebooks for free and even as my audio book. And one of the book is called The Joy of Living, right? Not the joy of living, the joy of living, how to live in joy daily, no matter the circumstances. So in the book, I describe an interesting situation. It's called the distinction between excitement and enthusiasm. So we all know, especially as talking about a sporting event, that's the essence of excitement, right? If you go and your team is playing, your team is winning, or whatever they're doing, and things are happening, you're there, you're applauding, you're going, you're moving. Yeah, I love it. That's excitement, right? That is all outside stimulus. The example I often use, you take a pot of water, you put it on a stove, you turn up the heat, and you get it to a certain point, a boiling point, and you keep that heat on, what's going to happen? The water keeps bubbling and boiling, right? Because there's something happening on the outside. If you turn down the heat or you remove the pot of water from the stove, what happens? It settles back down again. Just like after the event, all right? If your team won, great. If your team didn't, okay. That's excitement. That's excitement. Sight means an event, EX from the outside, right?
Yep.
That's excitement. Joy is based on enthusiasm. Now, THU in Greek, Ethan, is what? It's the Greek word meaning God, right?
Yep.
Theos, Theodore, right? Theo. THU, when you have enthusiasm, means God is inside of you. That never goes away. And when you have EN, that means the inner being is rooted in that which is eternal and unbounded. That's enthusiasm. Okay, sometimes it can be modulated and such. However, it never goes away. So enthusiasm is tied to joy. And when your life is built on that as the foundation, and that's how you approach business, remember the U before the I. I mean, I'm looking at your title on the behind you, business. You'll never forget this now, the U before the I. And enthusiasm was what drives you. Then when you offer your goods and your services and your very being, you're doing it in the wholehearted way of enthusiasm, with a smile on your face, with a nice, beautiful thought process of how can I serve best? When you come in with that kind of mentality, by definition, you'll always succeed. You may not always get the sale. Beside the point. You hear what I just said? It doesn't matter, because remember we said the 6 most important words are choice, not chance, determines your destiny. You're going in, it's a big project. You've been working on it for 6 months. They said, yes, maybe, come in a competition. Whatever the reason, you never know. This one didn't work. You didn't get that particular situation or that job. Whatever. Doesn't matter. You don't growl. You don't get upset. You don't throw things. Because why? You choose to understand that the universe is built for your benefit, right? There's a small difference that I learned from one of my mentors when I was 22. Amazing man. He was in the insurance business. He helped me make my first $1 million, by the way. At the age of 22, he taught me, he said, there's two-letter word and a three-letter word. You can think that and things are happening to you. Those are the two-letter words. Or for you. That's a three-letter word. When you make that shift, you know that? When you make that shift in your perspective from things happening to you, that's like the excitement, outside stimulus, and rather for you, that's the enthusiasm, then everything works out well. And that is a major understanding of success in business.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that whole section that you just shared with us. So many amazing elements. And what I link it to as well is a little bit like the extrinsic, intrinsic motivation, right? Where people, have these external things to motivate them, but it doesn't actually keep the motivation going, right? Because you need that thing, keep needing that
Right.
thing. Whereas if you have the intrinsic, that joy that lives within you, then you just do it, and it is part of you, right? In that area there, and that's the secret, right? To enjoying the
So,
process.
Ethan, you're mentioning something that's really critical. I urge people lean in and just absorb this. Don't write anything down, because the beauty of the podcast is you have it to listen to again. It's always good. At your leisure, you listen again. You can stop it. You can make a note, etc. Right now, just listen. Don't take notes. Don't do anything. Just experience what's going on here. It's a real wonderful thing to do in life. So, as you just mentioned here, something really important, and that is the extrinsic, intrinsic. And I want to talk about this idea of what we call a shift in perspective. Uh, Now, shift is a very interesting word. I've been working with people for more than 4.5 decades. And when it comes to me, if you look on paper, you'll see, wow, great, this person is doing fantastic. And yet they're upset, depressed, or something is off. That's why they came to me for business coaching and such. Very high level stuff. And what it is they've dropped the F in shift, and the other stuff happens. You got to keep your F and F's in place. I love the F word. You want to shift your perspective a tiny bit. I'm talking about just a shade. And what happens, then you can internalize those 6 words that I mentioned, which is choice, not chance, determines your destiny. How you choose to respond to any given situation. I'll give an example in my own life in just a moment. The ability to recognize what's going on and never internalize it on a personal level. See, somebody says something to you that is untoward or incorrect. You don't know where they're going through. And who cares what they said? You hear that? Even if they meant it, a racial slur, and they don't like you, they meant it. So that's their problem, isn't it? Now, that takes a level of maturity that enables you to be able to rise to the highest levels of business success. You see, if you're granted the ability to handle $100,000 in a year income, let's just use a number. Okay, you're 100,000. You want to pick a number, 500,000. Okay, you start working towards it. You have a plan, you have a goal, et cetera, et cetera. You get to 500,000. You've been granted that ability. You say, well, I worked for it. That's great. Well, the good Lord says you can handle it now. Could you handle $1 million a year? Can you handle a $5 million contract? Can you handle a $10 million? Can you even think of gaining a $20 million contract with a 30% net margin? I mean, what would that do for you, your life, your business? Can you even think that? Or are you in a place where, as much as you think, wow, look how much better I'm doing today than ever, you're still limiting yourself? We don't want limits, do we, Ethan? You and I, we literally teach, preach, beg, cajole, work with people to make them think that limit, there isn't. You choose your limit. Am I correct on this?
Definitely.
And the fun part of it is, I mean, this is where it gets really nice. Business is fun. I meet too many people too many people who are not living in joy. They're not having fun in their business. And sometimes people even say to me, I'm talking about people doing, again, on paper, extremely well, right? I do that on the weekend. I have fun, when I go out to play golf or tennis or pickle, whatever the thing is. But right now I'm in business, business. Hello. What you really want to be able to do, if you want to be fully successful means the ability to embrace fun, joy, happiness, peace, love in everything you do. Everything. Am I correct?
Yeah, I love it. It's so true. And that connection with, your team, with your partners, with your clients, with everybody, right? Around there, because then it doesn't feel like it's something like a job or anything like that, right? It's just you love, like I love the process, when I do business. Like my mind's, it's a blend. That's the way I think about it. It's not a separate thing, business and life to me. It's all part of it, and I'm enjoying all of it in that way. That's the way that I see it.
So let's talk about Ethan for a moment. He just mentioned remarkable word, the P word. If we think of life as events, which is the way things happen, you write down a schedule and you think about it as a process. It's a process, not an event. And the ability to begin to understand how the process unfolds and that you're the director of it. See, too many people think that other people have an influence on their lives. Well, it's my boss, my wife, my husband, and they're putting limitations, therefore, on their own outlook. And what we want to do is make sure that doesn't happen, because you want to live life to the full. Example, I am blessed to say that, and again, I've been public speaking for several decades, 5+ decades, actually. Started public speaking when I was 21. I told you I was mentored by a 22-year-old who was a multimillionaire in insurance. And he encouraged me to be a public speaker. Now, everybody knows speaking in public is not easy. People get nervous speaking in public. You don't. I don't. Matter of fact, we love it. Why? Because it enables us to touch other people, to really have a connection with other people, to be able to share. Now, I have a podcast, I'm happy to say we have 500,000 listeners worldwide. I do 4 of them, 6 of them in a month. So I'm touching millions of people. And we talk about that people tune in because of 3 reasons. One is because we discuss the 3 fundamentals of life. And when you use the 3 fundamentals, you will be, by definition, happier, healthier, and wealthier. Who doesn't want that? Hello? I have yet to meet anybody. By the way, when I do my in-person engagements, which I do very rarely now because I don't travel, I'm here in a place called Henderson, Nevada, which is outside of Las Vegas. So I do only 1 or 2 events a month, sometimes only 1. But I do my public speaking on the internet. And when I speak to people, it's about the ability to use these 3 fundamentals. Number 1, your life has purpose. You lead a purpose-driven life. Number 2 happens. Good number 2. You go mad. Now, MAD is a wonderful acronym that stands for make a difference. Lead a purpose-driven life, you make a difference in the world, right? And number 3 is to uncover the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms. Simple example, our show is carried over the internet, right? Around the world. And it's amazing. Thank God Ethan has tens of thousands of listeners. And our show, I get emails and things from people in Nepal, from people in Bangladesh, people in the Congo. I mean, everywhere around the world. It's wonderful. It's people listening. So we have www. What does that stand for? Ask anybody. What does it mean? And people say it has to do with the internet. Now, factually speaking, they're correct. However, in our world, the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, www stands for What a wonderful world, right? And what a is a word, WHETA. Now, of course, thank you to Louis Armstrong, Satchel, for enabling that song, What a Wonderful World, to go viral, touch tens of millions, hundreds, billions of people. And we never hear the opening bars of What a Wonderful World. What do you do, right? You smile. Now, smile is one of the most important words you can ever internalize, utilize, and leverage in your life because smile stands for seeing miracles in life every day.
I love that.
Seeing miracles in life every day. Now, so I'm going to tell you a quick story, brief story. It's about me. Imagine everybody, if you can, I'm standing up in the morning, completely healthy and hearty, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. And in the evening, I'm in the hospital, totally, completely paralyzed, my neck down. It's called being a quadriplegic. And it was not from an automobile accident. It wasn't a spinal injury. It was a rare disease I never heard of the day before. Took over my body and rendered me incapable of moving. I could only communicate by blinking my eyes. I was 144 days in the hospital. I was in a hospital bed in my old home for 2 years. I couldn't move. I was in a wheelchair for 4 years. I had braces on both my legs, from my hips to my ankles. That was progress. Thank God today, Ethan, I am able to be vertical and ambulatory with the help of a 7-foot walking wand. So I'm a triped, not a biped. Can't walk up a stair by myself. Can't walk up a curb by myself. I have help 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. But you hear my voice. Positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, all because of one word. Smile. Seeing miracles in life every day. So remember we spoke earlier about internalizing and understanding that choice, not chance, determines your destiny. So I could easily have chosen to be angry and bitter. Hey, hello, I didn't know if I was going to move again. Now, you let the cat out of the bag because we do this in upfront. Look at Barry Shore. He swims now 2 miles a day, 6 days a week. Wow. It is a big wow, by the way. I am impressed, and I'm doing it. I can't get up from this chair, by the way. I'm still paralyzed from the waist down. I push and pull, and okay, I can get up. And when they put me in the pool, I have special devices on my legs so they don't sink. And I wear paddles because my hands don't close. I use a snorkel. Hey, I swim. I can swim an hour and a half, 2 hours without stopping. And I'm 76. And I've been a quadriplegic. Most people can't do that, right? That's pretty cool. So when I speak about these things, people listen and say, whoa, I get it now. Choice, not chance. Angry, bitter? Hello, I'm alive. I have the ability to share with you and everybody listening. SHARE is a wonderful acronym. It stands for spreading happiness and rejuvenating energy. Do you love it?
I love it, man. Very, very powerful, Barry. And you're a testament to mindset, right? And I think that's the thing, right? Like in this whole thing is like you said, the choice part. It's like you choose what your future is. You can complain and things are happening to you, or you can go, no, this is what I want to do. There's a great saying that I learned that aligns with a bit what you said before was the universe rewards the unreasonably determined, right? So it's like
Yes.
you go out there and you just do what you're going to do. And if you just stick at it and you don't care about what everything says and you believe it's going to happen, you will get there in the end, right? And enjoy the process like you talk about, right? As well. Yeah.
And this is so important what Ethan just said. And I urge everybody to not only take it to heart, but make it part of your life. Why? Because it is your life. You have one. Why even think in a negative thought? It doesn't exist. I'm going to say two things, and I want everybody to hear what my mission in life is. So we've been discussing some beautiful things here, and I tell people when they tune in, whenever I'm on something, and I share with everybody now, if you're looking for new information, well, you may get it, you may not get it. It's the internet. There's so much information out there. I call it IO, information overload. It's just everywhere. If you want inspiration, wow, listen to Barry Shore. This is so good. It's like Chinese food. Come back a couple hours later, I need another dose. What we're discussing here Ethan and Barry, is the T word, transformation. You want to be able to utilize some nugget, some piece, some things to go to the next level, to transform your mindset, your heart set, your enthusiasm, how you choose to respond in any given situation, especially, by the way, when it's dealing with the three most important factors of life. So I oftentimes, when I'm speaking, I urge people, I ask a question to begin. You ready for the question, Ethan?
I'm ready.
Here's the question. I just had an audience. We had 1,127 people. So people pay, they come, they listen to Barry Shore speak. Okay, the story, all great stuff. And I asked people here, how many people here want to be mediocre? Raise your hand. No, they don't raise their hand. They don't want to be mediocre. How many people here want to be outstanding? Everybody, yeah, that's why we're here. Do you really? Do you really? Good. It takes work. Work. That's a 4-letter word ending with K. Okay. That's all right. It's steady, progressive. It's a process. You're in the process. You cannot lose. You cannot fail. Something my father taught me at the age of 16, also just before I made my choice to be happy. He said, my dear beloved son, I told you he loves to say that. I want to teach you something. You can never fail. I didn't understand what he was talking about. I heard the words. It took me a few years to understand because I thought I failed in certain things. You can't fail. Okay, you may not do what you want. Maybe things might not go the way you want. By definition, okay. So you can't fail. It's a law in the world that when you use a life for purpose, positive, powerful, pleasant, you must succeed. Must. It's a law of the universe. So, with your permission, I want to tell something that happened to me while I'm laying in bed, quadriplegic. I'm in my own home, in a special hospital bed. I can't move. And the doctors were very nice when they discharged us from the hospital after 144 days because the bill was over $750,000 and they kicked us out. Mr. Shaw, you won't be able to move. You won't be able to walk. However, there's a lot of things we can do today that, now, did I tell them they were wrong? No. They're my doctors. I'm not going to yell at them. In my mind, did I listen to them? No. Did I ever think I was going to walk again? I don't know. I didn't know. Did I ever think about swimming? I wasn't a swimmer. I was not a swimmer before. I didn't know swimming. Me? Okay, fine. It came about because of certain situations. However, as I said, I had been so blessed. I built 2 businesses which were large, sold them to public companies. Prior to that, I had built other companies and did fairly well. So obviously not everyone worked up and down. It's business. I love it. It's a process. Okay. And now I'm in bed and I'm laying there and I said, dear Lord, what am I supposed to do? I'm a regular guy. I'm not going to just lay here. I have my mind. I love business. What can I do? So I'm going to tell everybody my mission. You ready, Ethan?
Let's do it.
Barry Shore's mission is to give $1 billion to charity without costing any giver a penny. What did you just say, Barry Shore? I could hear the first part, to give $1 billion to charity. What'd you say? Without costing any giver a penny? How do you do that? That's what I was thinking. Towards the end of the second year, again, I didn't know if I was going to move again. And thank God I was able to get into a wheelchair, all kinds of things. I had a vision. I knew what I wanted to do. I have the mission. And when you're mission driven, not just mission, gee, I'd like, mission driven, it must be entirely inside of you. Take over everything that you see, everything that you think, And the self-talk must always be positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. Am I correct on this, Ethan, right?
Definitely.
Absolutely correct, right? This is a big mission. Everybody agree? Do you hear what Barry Shaw said? $1 billion. That's US. Not to demean Australian. $1 billion to charity without costing any giver a penny. How do you do that? So over the course of a few years, again, I knew business well. I knew certain processes. We explored how to do things, and we used things like gift cards and just different mechanisms. And it worked and it didn't work. We played, we tried, because that's how you build things, right? You experiment. Well, I'm going to make the story shorter now. A few years ago, my partner and I, by this time I had a partner, they'd been working with him a few years, I really like. I told them that I wanted to do something with either Visa or MasterCard. Now, you have Visa and MasterCard in Australia, right? Okay, so everybody knows who they are. You're talking about trillion-dollar companies before there were trillion-dollar companies, right? So I'll make this. What happened is we went to both of them. MasterCard said maybe. Visa said, let me think about that. What is the story? So I'm not sure if it's like this in Australia. It may be. If you walk into a grocery store, usually it's a grocery store, you walk in and there are racks and racks of things called gift cards. Do you have that in Australia?
Yes.
Okay. So if you were to go in and there, I'm just using this, it may be there as well. So if you wanted to get a $100 Visa prepaid card from the rack, so you go to the rack, you take it to the checkout, and you want to buy that $100 Australia, whatever, and you want to buy it, they're going to charge you $105. What? Yes, because you're going to use your credit card, 3% for that, and the store wants to make some money, and the distributor makes some money. So I'm buying it because I want to use it as a gift. I have whatever reason I want. I'll pay the extra fee because I want it, right? It fulfills my thing. So we went to Visa, and I made a presentation. My presentation was, Visa, we live in the 21st century. I want to be, and I've worked with, thank God, for over half a century, many, many nonprofits, help raise money for them and such. I said, I want to be able to deliver a $100 Visa card electronically. So there's no physical thing, doesn't cost you anything, no distribution. Electronically, I want to do it. I want to sell that $100 card for $100, and I want you to contribute $3 to the charity that's the supporter is using. And you should see their faces all drop. There were 4 people in the room. Like, what are you talking about? Explain that again. What do you mean? And I explained to them that by doing such a thing, they would wear a halo that they could never buy. They'd be helping out worthy causes, and they would still make money. What? How? Because let's say I have in my hand here, Ethan, $100 bill. Let's just, you're going to be in the United States very soon. I have $100 bill. Would you buy that $100 bill for $100? Well, hello. Okay, what's the catch? Aside from that, right? I give you 100, you give me 100, I give you 100. And by the way, when you did that, $3 goes to the Cancer Society. You'd love it, right? You'd say, give me more. And every time you did it, more $3. Same thing with the Visa card. So $3 goes to Cancer Society, let's say, or whatever you're a supporter of. But when you bought that $100 card, you put it in your Google wallet, your Apple wallet, or you have it and you're going to go buy on Amazon. Somebody uses that card, Visa makes fees with the merchant. So don't cry for them. They do fine. I gave them a new model. That's all. I say, instead of up here, deliver electronically. Now, again, all of this came about because I'm 76 chronologically. I'm 48 metabolically because I swim 2 miles a day, 6 days a week. I'm 28 mental acuity because I work with a lot of people on the internet and I build things. And my SOW is 8. Now, you could be saying, Barry, I like you. What's an SOW? Sense of wonder. I'm an 8-year-old. And you know what 8-year-olds do? They ask questions. How come? Why not? The Steve Jobs effect. Well, nobody's ever done that before. He used to say, great. Nobody ever did this before. Great. So now, after years, as of October 1st, 20205, we have approval from Visa for something called the Everywhere Card. Now, this is the United States only for the moment, where people can buy $100 at a time, and we urge them to buy two or three, whatever, and they can do click recurring and give me those cards. And with every $100 they buy, $3 goes to the charity of their choice. You hear this? Now, the piece is that you can't use your credit card, because if you use your credit card, theirs goes to 3%. So people pay by ACH. Do you know what ACH is in Australia?
Yeah, like a bank transfer.
Electronic funds.
Yeah.
Right. So people do that all the time. So now people, I'll give you a classic example. We have one organization we're just teeing up now. They have, she told me they have 5,700 supporters, of whom, you ready for this? 800 people give money. See, this is a very interesting thing about nonprofits. Nonprofits always under the gun. What does every charity in the world, Ethan, want? What do you think? What does every charity want?
Well, they want money, right, for their cause?
Money. He said money. Now, that if you, I've been involved with boards of directors, it's not really what they want. Yeah, of course they want money. What they really want is ongoing, monthly, passive revenue. In other words, I would like 1,000 people to give me $18 a month. And at the end of a year, I have $216,000, rather than at the end of the year scraping and pulling and please, please. You hear the difference? The genius of this is people can get these because they're going to need them. Everybody buys groceries. Everybody goes to Amazon and goes restaurants. You put it on your phone, you put it in your wallet, and you go shopping with it. It doesn't cost you a penny more. And you sign up and you say, okay, give me, I'm making it up, give me 3 of these $100 cards in the first week and 3 the third week of the month. Click recurring, ding, and it happens regularly. So what's happening now? You're getting the cards, didn't cost you any more. You're using them. Your charity, your cause is getting money now on a monthly basis. And you aggregate people, whether it's 100, 500, 1,000, 10,000. And look what we've done. We're able to get good, important causes. They need money to get them to have money on a regular basis. And all because I became a quadriplegic. I had to go through stuff to think about it even. What am I going to do, dear Lord? I can't move. So I'm not asking you to move, Barry Shore. Use your brain, use your mind, use your heart. Think, do something that's different. Do you love it? My mission to give $1 billion to charity without costing any giver a penny. How's that for getting out of bed in the morning?
It's amazing, Barry. It's such an amazing mission and such creativity in the deal. You took a challenging situation, right? And going, how can I do something different? Change the paradigm. And I think everybody here, right, is understanding what Barry said here. It's like, how do I create something here that's not normally here? And how do I, the passive income thing for the charities is an amazing thing, but that's any business as well, right? We want ongoing revenue, right? So how do you create models for things so everybody wins, right? In that element there, whether you're giving back, which is an amazing thing that we help people with, as well as in your own business, so you can help more people as well, right? With your product and service. So I think it's those lessons are universal, right? Of what Barry's, teaching us here today. And what an amazing thing that you struck there, Barry. And mate, you shared so much gold with us here today. And I guess as we're starting to wrap up, what one key piece of advice, would you like to share with all the entrepreneurs watching and listening today?
First of all, thank you for an opportunity. Ethan, this has been a truly great pleasure to be here with you today. I'm going to leave you with a zinger. You're not ready, so I'll give it to you right now. Here's the last piece of uplift. You ready?
I'm ready.
Learn to love dog poop.
Interesting.
Okay, Barry, what is that all about? So if you remember, I said there are the three fundamentals of life. Number one, life has purpose. Number two, lead a purpose-driven life. You go mad. Mad stands for make a difference. And number three is unlock the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms. The genius of life, the genius of business, the genius of living in an exuberant manner is the word service. Service. That's what we're here for, right? I'm here to serve. The you comes before the I. So dog poop, everybody, it's universal. Everybody knows what dog poop is, right? And you walk down the street, you'll see it, people picking it up. If you live at least in a nice place like Sydney, people don't just leave it there, they pick it up. So what I want you to do, Ethan, next time you're walking out with your wife and the newborn baby and in the stroller, and you see somebody picking up dog poop, you start laughing, and your wife says, "What are you laughing?" You say, "I love dog poop." And she say, "What are you talking about?" So Barry Shaw was on my show. Remember, I told you we love dog. So dog poop is a fabulous acronym. It stands for the following: doing of good, power of one person. See, when doing of good is what animates you, what literally gives you life, you start thinking that way, you start speaking that way, you start acting that way. And here's the key: power of one person. When you recognize that you have the same exact power, ability as a Nelson Mandela, as a Gandhi, as a Mother Teresa, as Elon Musk. You, the good Lord, gave you everything you need. If you can't do something big, you do something small. It doesn't matter. You're doing it consciously and conscientiously. Understand that you make a difference. You're a mad person. Doing of good, power of one person. See dog poop? Start laughing out loud and share with other people. To your right and your left, two people become four, become 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, etc. We create a tsunami of goodness. Nothing can stop it. It's the genius of real life. Go forth and live exuberantly.
I love that. So, so powerful. What a message there, Barry. Thank you so much. I'm definitely never going to look at dog poop the same after this in a very positive way. So, thank you for these analogies, the words. I love all these different acronyms. And I'm sure everyone watching and listening today, like, this is a great way to anchor these right into you, into your everyday being of all the lessons that Barry's taught us here today. And
May I share two more little pieces?
Of course.
So I have been privileged to publish 5 books. One of them is a book of acronyms. These positive, again, they're all available for free as ebooks, and the audiobook, The Joy of Living. And the other piece is, I would like, with your permission, Ethan, is to do a group hug with people all over the world. Let me tell you what HUG stands for. I'll do the hug and a blessing. HUG stands for heartfelt, unlimited giving. Are you ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And a blessing from Barry and Ethan. Go forth. Live exuberantly. Spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go mad. Go make a difference.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for the hug, Barry. It's always good, and we're all connected, right? Quantum physics shares it, and everyone that's watching and listening, I'm sure felt that as I did here today. And we connected, through our networks. I learned about your awesome journey from being a quadriplegic to for now swimming 2 miles a day and created so much success and being an ambassador of joy, right? You've definitely joyed up me and everybody of watching and listening today. You're an awesome guy. so knowledgeable, so much great energy, and showing what's possible in this world, right? No matter your age, no matter your circumstances, there, right? You choose what you create in this world. And that, I think that's the biggest message of all, and enjoying the process of that. And I'm sure you continue to help people use joy as a foundation of business success. I'm very grateful that we connected. Look forward to connecting further, getting on your podcast, and hopefully partnering at some point in the future. So Barry, how can people, find you and get in touch with you as well?
Please avail yourself of the opportunity. Go to barryshore.com. BARRYSHORE, barryshore.com. As I said, you'll find the podcast, 2 podcasts that I do. You'll be able to order a book for free or the audio book. And if you are in the United States and you are aware of an organization that wants to raise money in a wonderful way, that's why I'm here. We're here to serve. The U comes before the I. Everybody wins. Go to barryshore.com. BARRYSHORE.com. And thank you, wonderful Ethan, for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you so much, Barry. It's been a pleasure. Definitely check out Barry and his website there, and everything with his books, the mission, the charity elements, the podcast, so many amazing things there. And I'm sure he'll make a massive impact in your life, so you can create a massive impact in yours as well, mate. It's been a pleasure interviewing you, Barry. Thanks for being on the Business Growth Show. Thank you for watching and listening to the Business Growth Show, where we talk about everything on business growth. And please like, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star review. You can find me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube as Ethan Cassiotis, or visit my website, ethancassiotis.com. And if you want to grow and scale your business, you'd reach out to me on any platform to see if we're a good fit. So until next time, remember that our business grows where we learn skills and take action using them in spite of fear. So let's create wealth and freedom together.